Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in US history, the 1983 D1 cent coin. Now, what makes the seemingly ordinary penny worth millions? Stick around to find out because the story might surprise you. Alright, let's start with some basics. The 1983 D1 cent coin, often referred to as the 1983 D Lincoln cent, was produced at the Denver Mint. It features the iconic Lincoln design, with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial. These coins were produced as part of regular minting for circulation. So, why is this particular coin causing such a buzz? Well, there's something very unique about a handful of 1983 D pennies. While most of the coins you'll find from that year are worth, well, exactly 1 cent, some are worth significantly more. Like, we're talking millions of dollars here. But why? Let's break it down. The main reason these pennies are so valuable is because of an incredible minting error. In 1982, the US Mint switched the composition of the penny from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating. But, and here's where it gets interesting, some 1983 D pennies were mistakenly struck with the older copper composition. The new zinc pennies were lighter and cheaper to produce, but a few leftover copper blanks were still in the mint's supply. Some of these copper blanks ended up being used for minting 1983 D pennies. The result? A very rare mistake because the copper pennies were never meant to be produced in 1983. So here's the deal, the 1983 D copper pennies are extremely rare. But how rare? Well, estimates suggest that only a few dozen of these pennies were ever made, and they're not easy to find. So now you're probably wondering, how do you know if you've got one of these rare copper pennies in your collection? It's all about weight. A regular 1983 D penny made from zinc weighs about 2.5 grams. But a 1983 D penny made from copper? That'll weigh around 3.1 grams. Here's the tricky part, since the copper penny was only produced in small quantities and wasn't supposed to exist in 1983, finding one of these pennies is like discovering a needle in a haystack. That's why collectors and coin enthusiasts are constantly on the lookout, hoping to strike gold, or in this case, copper. If you're lucky enough to have a 1983 D penny that weighs more than the standard 2.5 grams, you may have one of these rare copper versions. But that's just the first step. The real value comes in the condition of the coin. Now let's talk about the real reason why these pennies are worth so much. You see, while there may be a few copper pennies out there, they're not all going to be worth millions. The value of these rare coins depends on their condition or grade. Coins that are in excellent condition are worth much more. For example, a coin that's graded as mint state, meaning it's in near perfect condition, can fetch anywhere from $20,000 to $200,000 at auction. But that's just the beginning. If you've got one of the best preserved 1983 D copper pennies, you're looking at big money. In fact, some of these rare copper pennies have been rumored to be worth up to $200 million, but that's a bit of a myth. The idea that a 1983 D copper penny could be worth $200 million has been circulating online, but the truth is, no confirmed sale has reached that price tag just yet. However, it's not impossible that a penny like this, in perfect condition, could fetch a mind-blowing price in the right market. So, why haven't we seen any of these pennies go for $200 million? Well, there's a bit of a controversy surrounding the 1983 D copper penny. You see, the US Mint has never officially confirmed how many of these coins were actually produced, and many experts are skeptical about how many actually still exist. Some believe that most of the copper pennies were destroyed, others think they're locked away in private collections, and a few believe that the 1983 D copper penny simply doesn't exist at all. That uncertainty makes the coin even more valuable in the eyes of collectors. If you think you have one of these rare copper pennies, what should you do? First, check the weight and compare it to a regular 1983 D penny. If it weighs more than 2.5 grams, you might be onto something. Next, get the coin professionally graded by an expert. This is key because the condition of your coin will ultimately determine how much it's worth. If it's in mint condition, you may want to get it insured or even consider selling it at auction. To wrap things up, while the 1983 D copper penny might not actually be worth $200 million yet, it's still one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there. If you're a collector, it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Who knows? You could be sitting on a treasure worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content just like this. And if you've got any questions or comments about the 1983 D penny, drop them in the comments below. Until next time, happy collecting. Next, 2015 1-cent USA coin. If you're a coin collector or just a curious person, then today's video is one you won't want to miss. We're diving deep into the 2015 US 1-cent coin. Yes, you heard that right. This coin, which seems like an ordinary penny, is actually worth a lot more than you might think. Some even claim it's worth as much as $90 million. But is that true? Let's find out. So, let's start with some basics. The 2015 US 1-cent coin, or penny, looks just like the pennies you and I find in our change every day. It features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and on the reverse we see a redesigned version of the Lincoln Memorial, which is the same design that has been used since 1909. But in 2015, something interesting happened that makes this particular penny special. If you're just casually looking through your coins, you might not realize it, but this coin has a design that's different from previous years, and that's where the value starts to increase. Before we dive into the specific reasons why some of these 2015 pennies are worth big money, let's look at the history behind the 2015 coin. As many of you know, US pennies have undergone various changes over the years, but the most significant change in 2015 was the introduction of the Union Shield design on the reverse of the penny. This Union Shield design was first introduced in 2010, but 2015 marked the first year that it became standard across all the pennies produced that year. The shield itself symbolizes the protection and unity of the nation, and it's been quite popular with collectors because it's more modern and symbolic compared to the Lincoln Memorial design that was previously used. Another important point is that the 2015 penny was part of the ongoing discussions around the penny's future. The cost of producing pennies has been higher than their face value for years, leading many to question whether the US should continue producing them at all. Some thought 2015 might be the last year for the penny, though that obviously didn't happen. So, why are we talking about a coin that is typically worth only 1 cent? Well, it all comes down to a few key factors that can make certain 2015 pennies worth a lot more. These factors include errors, production variations, and even the scarcity of certain types of 2015 pennies. First up, let's talk about minting errors. Minting errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin, especially when they're rare and difficult to find. For example, some 2015 pennies were accidentally struck with double dies or off-center strikes, meaning they didn't get minted properly. Coins with these errors can be worth thousands of dollars depending on the severity and how rare the specific error is. A typical 2015 penny with a common minting error might be worth around $50 to $200, but a well-known error, such as the double die or off-center strikes, could easily fetch $500 to $1,000, or even more in some cases. Now, here's where things get interesting. You might have heard the crazy claim that a 2015 penny is worth $90 million. And while that figure is a bit overblown, the truth behind the hype is rooted in the idea of unique finds. There's a theoretical possibility that certain extremely rare 2015 pennies could fetch extraordinary amounts at auction. How does a coin become worth such an astronomical price? The main factor here is rarity. While no confirmed sale of a 2015 penny has yet reached $90 million, we have seen coins with similar rarities reach incredibly high prices. For example, a 2015 penny struck with a rare error and found in mint-perfect condition could, in theory, fetch a record-breaking amount if it's one of only a handful of such errors in existence. Another reason this figure has been thrown around is the concept of a perfect specimen. In the world of numismatics, perfect coins, those with no visible flaws, scratches, or imperfections, can command much higher prices than their less-than-perfect counterparts. If you have a 2015 penny in perfect condition and it's a one-of-a-kind error coin, then it becomes a prized item that could potentially reach astronomical values. But again, $90 million is more of a theoretical value rather than a proven sale price. So, how can you tell if your 2015 penny is one of those rare, valuable coins? Well, the first thing you'll want to do is check the coin for errors, such as double die impressions, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Here's a quick tip. Inspect the details around the letters and numbers. If you notice any doubling in the lettering, like in the word Liberty or on the date 2015, then you might have an error coin. Also, weigh the coin. A typical penny weighs 2.5 grams. If the penny is heavier or lighter, that could indicate a unique strike error. And of course, always check the overall condition of the coin. If it looks like it's in nearly perfect condition, especially in terms of luster and wear, it may be worth getting professionally graded. If you think you have a valuable 2015 penny, the next step is to get it authenticated and graded by a professional. Organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, are trusted institutions that can verify whether your coin is indeed valuable and grade its condition. Once you've confirmed the value, you can either hold on to it as part of your collection or look into selling it at auction, where rare coins often fetch higher prices. To sum it all up, while most 2015 US 1-cent coins are worth just 1 cent, there are rare and unique varieties out there that can be worth thousands of dollars, especially if they have minting errors or are in perfect condition. However, the claim that these pennies are worth $90 million is a bit exaggerated, but the point remains. If you have a 2015 penny with a rare error, it could be your ticket to a nice profit. Host, thanks for watching today's video. If you learned something new, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome coin content. Got any 2015 pennies in your pocket? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.